Hello, I'm George Flinn. Today we're going in-depth with Tennessee Speaker of the House and Republican candidate for governor of Tennessee, Beth Harwell. Since taking office in January of 1989, is that correct? Speaker Harwell has served as the House Commerce Committee Chairwoman, House Republican Caucus Whip, and representative of the 56th District. Madam Speaker, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Well, you're running for governor.
Yes, I am.
And you made the announcement. Why now are you running for governor?
Well, I think in the 7 years that I've been Speaker of the House, I've led through some of our best accomplishments, most successful accomplishments as a state. We've been able to eliminate the inheritance tax, the gift tax, making Tennessee truly a business-friendly state, a place where you want to work and live and now retire. So I'd like to keep our momentum going.
Well, you have had the experience as co-chair of the Tennessee 2008 John McCain presidential race. How was that, and what was that path to victory, and what was the biggest challenge in that race? Because you got a lot of statewide experience from that, didn't you?
Right, I did. I've traveled this beautiful state for many years now. Party chairman for 4 years, traveling across the state, when we were able to successfully take the Senate for the first time in 140 years for the Republican Party. In addition, I travel the state as now Speaker and go visit many of my members in their districts and help them. And so I'm not new to traveling our state, and certainly I did work in the John McCain's campaign, and we were successful in this state, but we're not overall.
Well, once you do a statewide race, you learn that 95 counties is a lot of counties.
A lot of counties.
And it's a long state.
It's a long state, very long state, but a beautiful state.
Yes. And you've broken the glass ceiling several times. What is it like to break the glass ceiling? And if you're elected, first female governor, first woman governor, what is your plan for as everyone wants to say, your first 100 days?
First 100 days. Well, I don't think anyone should vote for me because I'm a woman, but I will tell you the historical significance is great because in the year 2020, our state will celebrate 100th-year anniversary of Tennessee giving women the right to vote. So it'll be a very historical event. And certainly I've been honored by my colleagues to serve as Speaker, and I've tried to always have an open door and be fair and listen.
Yes, you have. And we really appreciate your putting yourself out there for public service all of these years. Coming up next, we'll talk with Speaker Harwell about her prior experience and record as a representative and speaker. Later, we'll get to our rapid fire segment, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back. If you're just tuning into the program, we're joined by Speaker of the House and Republican candidate for governor, Beth Harwell. We've been talking with Speaker Harwell about her expectations for the coming months during her campaign. Now we're going to shift gears and talk about her experiences and her record. What drives you to be a public servant? We touched on it briefly, but you've done this for a little while now. And what's the driving force?
Well, I really, as a state legislator, always enjoyed the constituent service that I was able to provide. In addition, I really enjoy public policy, and I'm excited about state government because you can truly make a difference at the state level. And we have, I think, one of the best functioning governments in the nation. I'm very proud of Tennessee.
And I agree with you. You've been an advocate for women's and children's laws over the years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, two pieces of legislation that I'm very proud that I sponsored when I was a member. As Speaker, I don't carry legislation, but when I was a member, I did. And two were very important to me. One was creating what is known as a rape or abuse by an authority figure. It always broke my heart to get them reading a newspaper where a teacher or a counselor had taken advantage of a child. And so we created a new law and made it much stiffer for those people that are in positions of authority to hurt a child. And then secondly, I passed the law that would require repeat rapists to serve their entire sentence, no eligibility for early release or parole.
Right. Well, I mean, those are great. Now, you had some very great successes. As Speaker, you had a little bit of controversy. You had Jeremy Durham and Mark Lovell. Okay. And you did a investigation into Jeremy Durham, but no investigation into Mark Lovell. Why not?
Well, Mark chose to resign, and once he became a private citizen, then I would have no authority.
So that explains that totally. It was not a judgment on your part at all.
No.
I'll tell you what, she is interesting, and we've got even more questions for her. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll continue with our rapid fire segment, and we've got a few good questions to close out our segment. We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in to In-Depth TV. I'm George Flinn, your host, and we've been having a great discussion with Speaker Beth Harwell about her ongoing campaign for governor of Tennessee. We've been asking some tough questions, so let's take a moment and draw back and let's get to know her personally just a little bit. Speaker Harwell, which county and city, and where do you live and where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Okay, I grew up in Pennsylvania. I was born in Pennsylvania. I grew up in a family that put a lot of strength on faith and education. So at the age of 16, I came down to attend David Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yay, good for you. All right.
And it's been home ever since. I'm married to a Nashvilleian, and we have 3 children.
Okay.
And I live in Nashville, Davidson County.
And what was your first job ever? Growing up, your first job?
I was a counselor at a Christian camp in Pennsylvania.
You were? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm sure you learned a lot from that.
Yeah, I did.
And you went to college, David Lipscomb, and what was your major?
History and political science, and then I went on to my doctorate work at Vanderbilt University.
Okay.
Taught school at Belmont University for 4 years.
Well, you've got a good resume in education there. Do you have children?
I do, 3 children.
And how old are they?
Allie is my oldest, and she's 23. She lives in Colorado. And then my middle son is 21. He's going to be a senior in college. And then my baby will be a senior in high school this year.
Oh my gosh! So you've got them all through the whole spectrum. I'm sure you're well read. What is your favorite book that you can think of right off?
Well, I read the Bible every day. That's the most important book in my life. And gosh, I've read so many good books. I don't know that I could put a finger on which one I like the best.
You know, I was kind of banking on the Bible being your answer.
Yeah, I love Gone with the Wind. I like Grapes of Wrath. I'm just the classics.
Right. And speaking of that, what's your favorite movie?
Well, Gone with the Wind.
Gone, GWTW.
Yeah.
Okay, this will be probably the toughest question.
All right, I'm ready.
The Vols, Commodores, or Tigers? Which is your favorite?
I cover them all. I love them all.
You love? Good answer.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we'll go to the Titans, Predators, or Grizzlies.
All
of them. Good for you. This may be even tougher. Lincoln or Reagan?
That's a tough one. I admire both of them. It was Ronald Reagan that really turned a young person into wanting to be in politics myself, and so Ronald Reagan is certainly one of my heroes.
Right. The most important bill you sponsored or co-sponsored, I believe you talked on it, but what would you say the most important one?
Oh gosh, just the charter school bill was one I carried. I did the welfare reform bill, Families First. So I've been involved in a lot of different aspects of our state government.
Tennessee has a lot of traditions, and you've probably attended most of the traditions. Do you have top 2 or 3 that are your favorite, or one that stands out in your mind that's a lot of fun? I mean, I go to the Catfish Festival in Paris.
I've been in Paris, Tennessee. Love the catfish. Representative Wargo was nice enough to walk me around and met so many nice people. Gosh, I love the Strawberry Festival where Curtis Halford took me around. And there's so many good things to do here in Tennessee.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Those were the easy questions. Now let's get to the issues our viewers want to hear about. Here we go. Pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-life.
Pro-life. Okay, are you for or against school vouchers?
I'm a mixed bag on that. I certainly can understand the argument for them that the money should follow the child. We certainly allow vouchers in our higher education institutions. But I'm also keenly aware that it does hurt the funding to the local school system. So to me, it seems like we have a compromise here, maybe just a pilot program in one area of the state.
Okay. Corporate taxes, would you like to see them raised or lowered?
Of course, lowered. You know, one of the things I like about Tennessee is we're the third lowest tax state in the nation, and we're the lowest debt state in the nation. And certainly that, I think, is causing a tremendous amount of growth in our wonderful state.
Medicaid or TennCare, should we expand it or stand pat?
I think the legislature made the right decision to stand where we are. I think an expansion would have ended up costing our state a tremendous amount of money. And I am hopeful with President Trump that those domestic issues will be turned back to the states where they really can be more efficiently and effectively run.
In-state or out-of-state college tuition for our immigrants that are undocumented?
I believe they should pay the out-of-state tuition rate.
You do? Refugee resettlement, is it a state or a federal issue, would you say?
Well, it really is a federal issue. That doesn't mean that we can't take certain actions at the state level. We did pass the no sanctuary cities in the state of Tennessee, and you know Nashville went through a little bit of controversy there and attempted to decide that but we hold them back.
Right. Well, sanctuary cities, are they good or bad for Tennessee?
I think they'd be bad for Tennessee. I'm glad that we have a law forbidding them.
Okay, should we build up the wall or beef up the border with more agents? I'm talking about the southern border.
Well, you know, I think maybe we should do a little bit of both. I think certainly you don't have a country that's safe if you don't protect its borders.
Right. Thank you, Madam Speaker. You have answered the tough questions, and we're getting to the end of the program. But we've got a few other things that we'd like for you to talk about, and these are, you know, for you. You're running for governor. There are a lot of people in the field for the Republican primary.
Right.
How are you differentiated from the other people in the race, would you say?
Well, I think I have a record of success in state government and state public policy that I'll run on. I think I have a working knowledge of state government and bring something to the field in that regard.
Okay. And if you are actively running.
Yes.
And some people have said, well, she's Speaker of the House, she should step down from that. How would you juggle both of those, or how will you juggle both of those if you elect to do both?
Well, I'm going to stay on as Speaker. I'll complete my term. And of course, if I'm successful, I will not be running for state legislature again. I'll be running for governor.
Right.
But I will complete my term, similar to what Ned McWhorter did when he was Speaker and ran for governor.
So it's not unprecedented?
No, it's not.
Okay. And you just have the ability to juggle. You are a hard worker. I've watched you work, and you put all the time into it and then some.
Yeah.
The Memphis Regional Medical mega site.
Yes.
And between Memphis and Brownsville. You were there with
Yes.
Representative Eldridge, with
Right.
Mayor Rawls, and saw that picture. You looked like everybody was pretty hot that day.
It was a hot day.
What do you think can be done with that site?
It certainly is a challenge, and I know it's so important to this area. We want to encourage businesses to come here. We're doing everything we can to be a very business-friendly state. We've reformed our unemployment and workers' comp laws, making us a very business-friendly state. We just have to keep recruiting and keep trying to bring someone there. It needs to happen.
As governor, you would have a lot of influence, especially if businesses are considering. You'd be a great salesperson / cheerleader.
I certainly
for
would
that
try
area.
to be. Yes, I would.
And how would you? Is there anything else you'd like for the voters to know about you? And where can they find more information about you and your campaign?
Well, Beth Harwell and a website. So please, it will give you information to contact the campaign there, and love to have people involved. And I truly love the state. And
So you are accepting volunteers?
Yes. So yes.
And you're accepting all kind of help and donations. If elected, Tennessee is notoriously, west, middle, and east. How do you balance that?
Well, I think a lot of more attention needs to be directed here to West Tennessee. I'll be honest, I think that we've neglected it a little bit. But, each area of our state has something unique and wonderful to offer. Folks that live in the rural area want to live there. People who live in the urban areas want to live there because each one has something that offers Tennesseans. Tennesseans are gracious people, and each part of our state has something wonderful to offer.
This campaign has been predicted to be probably the most expensive primary ever. People are getting out early. People are shifting around, jockeying around. You are stalwart. You've, declared your candidacy. You're staying the course. What do you see happening in this campaign? Do you see it ramping up? Do you see it being genteel? Do you see it being an attack type campaign? What do you predict in this governor's campaign?
It would be my hope that we run a gracious campaign and that we're kind. I think that reflects well on Tennessee values. I'm hoping that it doesn't have to be so expensive. You know, someone was saying to me the other day, it's time for us to start having elections and not auctions anymore. My message, I'll raise enough money to get my message out, but I will definitely be outspent by other candidates.
But the message is the big thing.
Right.
And you're running. How do you spend a lot of time on the road, or do you spend more time with voter contact? How do you work that all out?
Yeah, it's on the road quite a bit. I love visiting communities and having someone walk me around, introduce me to folks.
It's obvious that you do.
Yes.
I watched that on social media and in the newspaper and radio and TV. It's obvious you do that. The energy level is just, it's something. You've got the energy. Thank goodness you have it.
Well, thank you. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying meeting Tennesseans on a daily basis.
And you know this. I think you told me once. You never leave something without asking for the vote. And I'm going to want you. I want you to ask for the vote.
Absolutely, Dr. Flinn. I would like your vote as well as your listening audience. I would be such honored to have your support.
Well, we really appreciate you being here with us. Speaker Beth Harwell, a candidate for governor, thank you for taking your time. I know your schedule is just busy as can be.
Well, thank you for having me.
And we enjoy getting to know you personally and your program and all of your experience, everything you've done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm George Flinn. You've been watching In-Depth TV with Speaker of the Tennessee House, Beth Harwell. She's running for governor, and I hope you'll consider her. Thank you.